Hello, it is I'm So Cutie, and as you can see, I'm back from CCS. It has been an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience to be there, amazing experience to play. I learned a lot, and I really went in with everything I had, all the knowledge I had. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to go over my performance, my deck, some of the key card choices, and my experience on Sapphire Amethyst. As you can see, I did get 28th. Let's just get right into it. So the performance right away, we got 28th. We were 7-2-0, 16-6, 21 points in CCS. We were a win away from being a middle seed in the top 16 and a draw away from being in the bubble of the top 16. Obviously, if I got a draw, I do not believe I would have made it. I had to perform a lot better, but here we are. So this is the deck, Sapphire Amethyst. Only a scroll away from the top of the ink decks. So 8 1-drops, Tipo, Dumbo, Genie, Elephant, Scrooge. Did not see this a lot. Belle, Elsa, Hades, Elsa, Monstro, and the typical actions that you see, and the 1 second star. And I will be breaking down why I wanted all these cards, but this is the exact deck I took. Obviously, there are a lot of cards that obviously are part of the top cut decks that I did not include, but throughout the day, it is very important that this is the deck that I practiced with a lot. I knew the holes, and it got me there. So I'm pretty happy with this deck. There are very, very minimal changes I'd make, but overall, it performed really well, and I don't really have any regrets on the list that I took that day. So this is the matchup spread. Round 1, I actually lost to the mirror on the play. I had missed game 1 ramp. Otherwise, I do think I would have 2-0'd him because I won the second game on the draw just to being able to maneuver it well. And then finally, I think... So I won on the draw, then he won on the play again. He drew the really strong hand of the Genie Elsa. There wasn't a lot I could do, and I bricked a little bit towards the end of the game. He got a second star off, and that kind of cemented it. 2-0'd Blue Steel Scar, round 2. Mirror again, I was on the draw. I actually had lost the first game. And then I was on the play, I won. And then I was on the draw, and I won. So this was a really good one. Blue-Green, round 4. I was super prepared. I made a video about Blue-Green, and I understood how to recover from it. It was just opting into different play lines and very, very obscure play lines, but it got me there. 2-0'd him on the draw. Felt amazing. Round 4. Round 5, a mirror. I was on the draw. I just performed really well. He was a little tilted, but I just maneuvered it well. I would say I opted into things that he needed to trade into and then abuse the damage spread and etc. etc. So I feel like I played this one exceptionally well. Round 6, it was another mirror, but this time I was on the play. I had drawn really strong in the first game, and on the play, if you draw really strong, it's kind of over. On the draw, I think he had a little bit weaker hand. I think he missed his 4-drop, and after that, it was wraps. So round 6 was pretty lucky. Round 7 actually was into Edmund. Right here, pictured on the right. Edmund and I were playing. I actually beat him first game on the draw. He had missed ramp. Game 2, we tug-of-warred it pretty hard, but then he dropped the triple second star 3 turns back-to-back. Game 3, I was on the cusp of coming back. He was digging and digging for second star. We were tug-of-warring, and I ran so dry on cards. I just did not have a card that said draw more cards. So visions definitely did not come up. I also ran into the issue of not being able to answer his Iago game 3, which was completely, I would say, out of my control. Turn 3 of his Iago drop, I had visioned and I had taken a Dumbo draw. So I had seen 7 cards, additional to my 7 cards, to the 4 turns that were. I looked at 18 cards and I could not find my out. If I had found my out to the Iago, I truly believe I would have taken game 3 on Ed. But things happened, and I understood that I needed to keep it in the mulligan. I didn't see it in the mulligan either, right? But if I would have had it or other options to get rid of Iago, I 100% would have just steamrolled that game 3. Super unfortunate, but obviously he's a great player, and he knew to answer with Iago, and he knew to take that risk. So I deserve to lose that one, especially for not having the removal, right? Purple Steel, round 8, 2-0 on the draw. He hit a 1-drop, but it wasn't Diablo. Diablo, he was also inking his Diablos in game 2 and opting for the answer to my 1-drop, so I wouldn't be able to answer him like continuously throughout the game. But Diablo is just much better. I think he made the mistake of having no Diablos, but game 2 was a little bit more of a slugfest. A lot more Hades and stuff to answer his stuff, but I got there. Ruby Am, I was actually on the draw and I lost game 1. I was very nervous at this point. This was my 7-2, and I knew I would be in the bubble for top 32, but I got there with good Hades, good finders, good bells, good evasives, and yeah, it was a grind. It was a very good grind. Matthew from Team Ohana, I believe his name is Matthew, super good player. His team was looking for him, and a super good group in general, right? They produce a lot of very good players, so super good. This was my matches spread for the day. Obviously, I did not hit aggro, but I did have techs for aggro. I did practice for aggro. I practiced against dogs. There was a lot of dogs and Amber Steel around me, so I was very, very mentally prepared to hit one. But I didn't. So in that regard, I was pretty lucky that I did not hit one. But for everything else that was meta, like blue, green, purple, steel, and blurple on the day, I was extremely prepared to hit all those. Ruby M was definitely a left hook, but I got there. So the mirror, second star, literally wins the mirror. The second star goes down, you win. Dumbo, super good. Just draw cards, get lore. It goes up so fast. Like, don't even quest a genie. Just use Dumbo. You're literally gonna be looking at like 7 lore, and your opponent's at 0 and 0 cards. So, and also Bell. A lot of the times, because I don't run Iago, because I think if he's answered, you kind of just lose, I would actually just bait my Dumbo. I would put Dumbo down and hopefully that he would slam, and then I would just use Bell to move damage around, keep the Elsa at 2, kill the genie, start moving damage around and start playing, and then get to Hades, bait the Hades, play the first Hades, and then it's kind of a really big tempo swing at the top. But this actually worked really, really well. Obviously, I do wish I had Iago. I do regret the Iago, but otherwise, this was my strat. This was my strat. I put Dumbo, baited Dumbo. They hit Dumbo, had damage on the board. Bell moved it. They couldn't really remove Bell, so they would go into their 6, go like TikTok or something. On my 6, I would respond with like a Basil Elsa to prep their Elsa to be killed. And yeah, it was just good damage movements. And then they would usually they would Hades the Elsa, right? Then I'd be like, okay, now I'm in my Hades turn or my Elsa turn. So like, let's Elsa get prepped. Get prep stuff, if I have to slam things, if I have to unknown things. Yeah, it was just a big tempo swing after this turn. So that's how I swung it back to me every single time. Steel matchup, Scrooge at 3 was definitely super, super greedy. I almost bricked in a lot of games. Like, I did not draw the nuts every single game. I almost bricked almost every single game. Scrooge definitely should have been at 2, but in the steel matchup, he's just an absolute monster. Royal Guard as well, just an absolute monster. Always have to be respecting this card. He's just Captain Hook. He doesn't get traded out, and he's just always alive, right? So he's super good. Bell in the steel matchups with resist, super good, especially with this Scrooge, just moving so much damage around all the time. Super good card. And I really wouldn't change anything. Scrooge is the reason why I just destroy the purple steel matchup as much as I do. I'm just very prepped for it, and I can understand what they're trying to get to. This also usually survives a strength, and if it does not survive a strength, that means they do not have a dock. So, because if they have a dock, they would have to dump the dock, play the strength. They would have 0 cards in hand. So this Scrooge this Scrooge is guaranteed to live unless they docked, dumped a card, and then drew into the strength, which is a lot more high roll. But that never happened in my matches, so super good for the steel matchup. Blue-green, just things that are at 3-up. Obviously, everybody ran heads held high and under the sea, but it created a lot of need for double characters and shifts and a lot of ink. So having Scrooge and Dumbo right off the bat was amazing. One, it represented that it was a big body that was continuously questing that he would either have to reckless or challenge. And the blue-green player in this scenario was relying a lot on hard removal or bigger characters because he wanted to set up the heads and the under the sea, right? So continuously using Hades to snipe single targets that would fulfill the under the sea requirement, and then always having this 3 strength alive, there was never a moment where I allowed the blue-green player to have enough ink and a singer to do something. At one point in the game, it obviously became like I had Hades a lot, and he also had Druid Collar, which was really popular, and he was probably at enough ink to do both, but I had kept my cards to about 3 or 4 in hand at all times, so he was never drawing enough. If he drew a lot, I would then match it in the second game. I had realized he probably was not on bend, so I did accrue a lot of cards. I didn't get punished for it. I don't really know if he was on bend at the end of the day, but I do always feel out the ground games 1 and 2 if I'm going to third game, if there is a bend in the list. Game 2, I was definitely a lot more reckless, knowing that I was kind of winning the matchup, and I hadn't seen bend at all. I had looked at his discard, and he had dropped his hand in front of me, and yeah, so I just kind of knew that he did not have it. So yeah, blue-green was pretty easy to maneuver, and I think that's why we didn't see that much success in this weekend. I do believe bend is necessary. Everybody's really just opting for under the sea, held high, but Jeremy, which I think is a really good friend of Zan, actually performed incredibly well in the weekend on blue-green. So obviously it's got legs. It's got hell of a leg in the meta. Super good. Any aggro matchup. That's why I had to run 8 1-drops and ITU. Things like Tiana. This is what this exists for. Tiana, bodyguards, Pluto, Elsa Basil gets everything. Bell to move damage to resist Nalas. Scrooge to be a huge body that can typically live the strength of a Raging Fire. If it can't, I probably lost. And then Royal Guard. Obviously, Hypnotic kills Rhino. So, pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, this makes me a lot weaker on the mirror. But in the mirror, I got there. So, it didn't really matter. Bad cards. Monstro was kind of bad. There was a time where, like, out of my 1 out of 22 games, I dropped him, and I had gotten a Bell, a Hades, and an Elephant because of Basil. But I lost a lot of cards, and I was already losing that matchup, so this was kind of bad. Yeah, not like he got put in for the purple steel matchup. I really expected to see a lot more purple steel, honestly. And he was just there for the purple steel matchup in the really late game, but he didn't really come up. So I probably would have cut him, especially in these coming tournaments, especially with like blue green and amber steel getting really popular. I definitely would not run this anymore. He's good, but he's just not in this meta, right? I should have had helping hand, probably at like even 1 or 2, honestly. Just something else to pocket for the Iago, and it always replaces itself, and the support is pretty applicable. Iago, dude, like on the draw, to the mirror is so hard, but putting Iago down and them not having an answer means you actually do really win the game. It's pretty insane, actually. But yeah, I should have definitely had Iago. I'm surprised I got to the mirrors as good as I did. I think I would have had an easier time into the mirrors. But the Iago could actually become something else that I have something in mind. But I have to test that, so I didn't really want to put that. Iago is definitely like the slot. And then Baymax. With the Monstro slots and the Finder slots, I think of upping Visions and maybe like sneaking in a Baymax or 2 or the Iago or 2. There's just a lot of trading that is kind of unfavorable in the late game, especially in the mirror. So being able to like put Baymax down and then still kind of get the character's quest and then kind of threaten 6 lore the next turn, especially if they're turning sideways and they're not able to remove the Baymax. It is a lot of lore in the mirror, so it is actually pretty good. But it's kind of like whatever. These 3 cards though are the ones that I was looking at, especially for the list. So, yeah, that's like the really big bulk of my recap. I am pretty happy about how I performed, although I do feel as though I could have done better. Obviously, if I did not lose round 1, I wouldn't have had the same matchup spread, but I do feel like if it was the same matchup spread and just a little bit better cards, just a little bit of ramp here, and a better pocket or a stronger mulligan, maybe I maybe could have gotten it and gone like on a crazy run. Obviously, it would have changed if I didn't lose round 1, and I won't be ignorant and say that like if I would have won that one, I would have been undefeated. But it definitely gives me a lot to think about, and it showed that I did my homework for this tournament. And as you saw, the next time I go to CCS, I do hope I get top 32 or better. I'll be putting in just as much time. I'll be playing just as much and playing all the decks. I'll be playing Blurple again. I'll be playing Purple Steel again. I'll be playing Amber Steel. I'll be seeing what is the best in the trifecta. I'll be seeing what comes out. I'll be reviewing metas. I'll be posting decks like I always do. And I'll be doing my homework. I'll be learning my matchups, and I'll be learning my cards. And yeah, thank you for the support, and thank you for the motivation. It keeps me motivated when people engage and just say, like, good job or good video. Yeah, I will see you at the next CCS, next PPG, any event that I can get to, and I'm hoping to get a DLC ticket, as Milwaukee is my hometown, but I do not have a ticket. And I will be posting more often now that I'm back in town. So thank you.